Babul Mora means my father. Naihar Chhooto Jaaye. When will I get to go back home? So this song is a song about separation, leaving home. The lyrics are traditional, written 150 years ago. The way I have recontextualized the song is about my father, who was the first in his family to leave India in the 1960s and settle in the US. I was born here because of that move. But I always wondered what that journey was like for him, the kind of pain, sadness of leaving home, and maybe the alienation. But he passed away when I was in my early 20s, and I had so many opportunities to, hear those stories, but every time he tried to tell me at that age, I would just roll my eyes and be like, Dad, I don't care. I was a typical self-absorbed high school kid, and but more recently, I wish I could have those conversations, to ask him what it was like. So this song is my way of having that conversation. Babul Mora Naihar Chhooto Jaaye Naihar Chhooto Jaaye Naihar Chhooto jaaye, O Babul Mora. Naihar Chhooto jaaye. Babul Mora, Naihar Chhooto jaaye. Naihar Chhooto jaaye. Babul चार कहार मिले मोरे दोलिया सजावन चार कहार मिले मोरे दोलिया सजावन मोरा अपना बेगाना छूटो ही जाए मोरा अपना बेगाना बेगाना मोरा अपना बेगाना Naihar Chhooto jaaye. Babul Mora, 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 Naihar Chhooto Babul Mora, Naihar Chhooto Babul Mora, Naihar Chhooto Babul Mora, Naihar Chhooto Babul Mora, 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 za re 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 ga re ga re za ni za re ga re za da ni sa ma ga re za ni sa ma ga re za mora babul 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 mora nai hagare chooto da babul mora nai har Naihar, 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 Babul Mora, Naihar, Chooto hi ja Babul Mora, Babul Mora, Naihar, Chooto hi ja Babul Mora, 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 Babul Mora, he Babul. Babul Mora, Babul Mora, Babul Mora, Babul Mora, Babul Mora, Naihar, 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 Babul Mora, Babul Mora, Gari Dada, Gari. Zari zari rigari 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 zari zari ni zari ni rida zagari riga zari ni zari zari rigari Babul Mora Babul Mora Babul Mora Babul Mora Babul Mora 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 yeah, Babul Mora. Yeah, Babul. Yeah, Babul Mora. Naihar Chooto hi jaaye, 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 Naihar Chooto hi Thank you. Thank you so much. So my name's Aditya Prakash. I'll just tell you a little bit about my journey with music. I didn't realize how important music was for my mental well-being until later in my life, because I grew up with it. I grew up in a family of artists, so music and dance was always at home. My mother's a prolific dancer, teacher, as is my sister. And my father quit his profession so he could help run my mom's dance school. So he was all in for the arts. And so I grew up learning a style of music known as Carnatic music, Indian classical music, from a very young age, since I was a kid. That's all I remember. And I was obsessed with this music. but I was born here, and I always felt this disconnect with my American side. There was always this, constant code switching that happens as a diasporic identity kid, And so, on one hand, my friends at school were listening to Eminem, and I was listening to these old 1960 Carnatic music recordings, and we never met in between. I tried, I pretended to listen to, I like it now, I love Eminem. But back then, I was just obsessed with Carnatic music, and because my friends didn't really get it, I kind of tucked that part of my identity under the rug. And I quickly started seeing how tied to identity music was for me. I saw myself as a musician, and it was who I was, always, at every part of my life. It's changed. My journey with music has changed with me. And so, for a large part of my life, it was shame, being made fun of for learning Indian music from my friends. And kids are mean at that age, in middle school, elementary school. But then I had this really amazing opportunity to tour with Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro, who, brought Indian classical music to the West with the Beatles and taught George Harrison. And I toured with him when I was 15. And that really opened my eyes, because I saw that this music was relatable beyond just my own Indian community. There was people from all sorts of backgrounds at those concerts, and I was singing the music that I grew up learning and studying in India, and it was cool, it was hip, and I felt like this resurgence in my journey, and I started getting more confidence with sharing my Indian music with my friends. And then I went to UCLA at the musicology. I met some incredible jazz artists, and I started seeing the connect between jazz and Indian classical music. And I started seeing my friends at my concerts now, and it felt like things were starting to seamlessly blend. It wasn't until COVID that I realized that I didn't want to do this, split personality thing. Have this traditional Indian music on one side and my jazz fusion to be more contemporary, modern, and then traditional on one side. I felt like that split identity was tiring. And so for me, I noticed my mental health was also taking a toll in that split. And I guess COVID forced me to slow down and confront that. All gigs canceled, all collaborations stopped, no rehearsals with bandmates. And so that distraction wasn't there. I was forced to confront all these feelings that I had tucked under the rug all my life. And what came out was anxiety, panic attacks. I never had panic attacks before. And I didn't know what to do with these feelings. I didn't know how to let my music into those feelings, because in classical music especially, there is such a importance given to this quality of refinement, of purity. There's kind of like a polishing of the human for this transcendental state of being, this rapturous, heightened state of being, very generally speaking. But yeah, with most classical musics, this is a case, and I didn't connect with that anymore. So for the first time since after COVID, I created this album, Isolation, which was an album, but for me it was more internal expression of what I needed to say as an artist. And for the first time I wrote a song about rage, about the rage I was feeling, about anger, and I think that's when it showed me that it's better that those feelings come out of me than stay in me. And music and art is a beautiful way to express things that can otherwise be silent, and it gives it a voice and a form of expression. And for me, that's been my journey. I can't say that music, cures mental health. Not at all. I mean, therapy is important and having conversations, but I think the fact that it gives a form of expression to what you're feeling, it allows it to leave your body. And I think even that song about anger and rage, or about a panic attack that I created on my album Isolation, that if it wasn't there, it would be in my body, and who knows what would have happened then. And so I'm really grateful to my journey with music for giving me this space. I'm gonna just wrap up with one more song. Speaking of Ravi Shankar, this is a song I learned from him directly. It's called the Tarana. So there's, like the first song, there was poetry attached to the song. This one doesn't have any lyrical meaning. It's just rhythmic syllables that are strung together with a melody which he composed. and I'm going to be improvising around his composition. And I just want to say thank you to Medicinal Media for inviting me here to speak and share some music and some thoughts with you all. Nadradani tomdradani tadare tadani daranadi. Nadradani tomdradani tadare tadani daranadim daranadim tare dani darana tadare dani. Nadradani tomdradani tadare tadani daranadim daranadim tare dani darana tadare dani. Nadradani tomdradani tadare tadani daranadim daradim dana darana dim 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 dana daradim dana darana dim 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 dana darana 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 dim 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 da daradim. Nadradani tomdradani tadare tadani darana dim darana dim tare dani darana tadare dani. Nadradani tomdradani tadare tadani daranadim pa 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 ni da ma ga re ga ma pa 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 ni da ma ga re ga ma ma ga re ga re ga re ga ma ga re da sa da re ga re da ni za re ga re ma ga re da ni za re ga ma ga re da ni za ma ga re da ni ga ma ga re da ni za re ga ma ba ma ga re da ni ga ma ba sa ba ma ga re da ni ga ma re ga ma ga re ma ga re da ni za re ga ma ga re da ni ga ma ba ma ba ma ga re da ni ga ma ga re da ni ga ma ba da ba ma ga re da ni ga ma ga re da ba 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 da ba ba da ma ma ba ma da ba ba da ba pa da ba ba da ba ma ga re ga ma ba da ma ga re da ni za re ga ma ba da ma ni da ni ba da ma ba ga ma re ga da re ga ma ba da ba ni da ba ma da ma ga re da ni za re ga ma ba da ni da ma ba da ma ga re da ni ni da ni da ba ma ga re ga ma ba da ni da ba ma da ma ga re da ni da re ga ma ba da ni da ba da ba ma ga ma ga re ga ri da ni za ni da sa ni da 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 ni da 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 ni da ni za da sa ni da ma ni da ma da ma ga ba ma ga re da re ga ma ga re da ni da re ga ma ma ga re da re ga ma ba da ba ma ga re da ni da re ga ma ba da ba ni da ba ma da ba ga ba ma ga re da ni da sa da re ga ga ma ba ba da ni da ni da da ba ma ga re da da re ga ma pa 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 ni da ba ga re ga ma pa ma da ma ga re da re ga ma ga re pa da ni da ba ma ba da pa da ni da ni da ni da re ga ni da ni da ba ga ni da ni da ba ga ni da ni da ba ma ga re da na re da ni dom re da ni ta da re ta da ni da da na di da da na di tare dani darana tadare dani nade dani tomdre dani tadare tadani darana di tomdre de de tomdre de de tomdre de de na 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 tomdre de de tomdre de de tomdre de de na 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 Dirdim 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 sani da ba ma ga re ni da ba ma ga re da ba ma ga re da na dre da ni dom dre da ni da da ni darana dim da re da ni darana da re da ni na dre da ni dom dre da ni da ni darana dim dana darana dim 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 dana darana dim 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 da da dim na dre da ni dom dre da ni da da ni na dre da ni dom dre da ni da da ni na dre da ni dom dre da ni da da ni. Thank you very much. Thank you.